So we know that there's very little government support. We know that the road accident fund is a nightmare to get anything out of. But Stian, are there any tax deductions that you qualify for if you are a person with disabilities?
Yeah.
Or even, for example, someone with autism, because I've had quite a lot of moms, for example,
It would be a mental, whether it's mental,
exactly.
physical. Yeah.
Unfortunately, certain things like autism isn't really covered. There's a list of disabilities that's covered. Obviously, you have to apply via a tax director from SARS, a tax application. If it's a permanent disability, that's tax application is valid for about 10 years. Otherwise, if it's a temporary position, it's an annual renewal. And yes, you get some tax deductions on that, some up to 33% of your medical aid contributions and certain expenses. But remember, it's all your direct costs related directly to that expense. You can't now go and say, okay, I want to buy a pit bull to take care of my child because she has a disability. They're not going to pay for that. And then also the other thing to keep in mind is all those disability expenses, unfortunately, they're only limited to a certain amount of expenses that you can cover. It's not at infinite, unlimited.
Sure. And Nonhlanhla, what has been your experience with perhaps claiming or, looking at these rebates? Have you applied for them and has it worked?
So I struggle. It's a lot of language that I do not understand. I don't know what I can claim for. I've got road accident fund covering this or maybe not covering that. So I struggle. I really struggle with knowing what can I claim for. In fact, we get to a point where some of us give up, where I give up and I say, you know what, it's fine. Let me just work for what it is. If nobody wants to help me, if the tax rebates are there, but then if I have to struggle again and have another thing to fight about, you end up just saying, let's do what I need to do, pay what I can, really.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
So I do know on the autism side, so my son has autism, and but it is quite a strict criteria, and you do have to go to a clinical psychologist, psychiatrist actually, has to sign off on it, and you have to prove that it affects your day-to-day functioning. Yeah. So even if it is a mental disability, you have to prove that it affects your day-to-day abilities. And I think that's the challenge.
It can't be just, okay, there is a diagnosis, but it's not really that invasive or affects your situation that much.
It has
to. And just keep in mind also, you can't have, say, your grandchildren or someone that's non-related to you. It's normally that disability claims are for you, your spouses, or your children. So keep that in mind. So you can't just say, I'm taking care of someone, so I'm going to put them, adopt them, but not go through the legal process.
I'm financially responsible for this person. That doesn't matter.
No.
Yes. Yeah.